Tien Nguyen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing great. Look, first of all, thank you guys for sending that information, that press release that you sent out. I was I don't want to say I was very excited because this is really not something to be excited about. This is something that affects people. So, firsthand, why don't you first introduce yourself and tell us who you are?
Hi, I'm Tien Nguyen. I'm a part of Happy Youth, which is Houston Asian Americans Pacific Islander advocacy group, mainly targeted towards students and youth minorities in Houston. And what we do is we advocate for Asian American and Pacific Islander representation in both politics and just civic engagement in general. Um, so I am, I guess, an organizer of the Southeast Asian Rally happening in Houston this Saturday. And we are trying to promote as much people to come support and stand in solidarity with our Vietnamese community because our rights are being obstructed at the moment.
Okay, now tell me, first of all, and I hate to ask this question, but just seeing you and watching you in action and getting all this information from you, I got excited. You are a millennial, is that correct? Or you're a Gen Z? Which
Yeah.
one?
I'm unsure where I am. A lot of people tell me I'm a millennial, and then others tell me I'm in between. I was born in 2000, so I am a baby.
Okay. That is
Does
what I
that?
wanted to know. And the reason I got excited is, I'm a political activist for decades now. And to see young people take the mantle and young people go out there and fight for rights, it is exciting because it is something that has to be done again. So before we get into your specific issue, what really got you into saying, I am going to go out there and I'm not going to just take what's given, I'm going to go take what's mine?
Well, first off, I just kind of grew up very rebellious and questioning authority throughout my whole life. That started slowly translating into politics once I got into feminism and social justice work. And I would like to give thanks to like Stephen and Donna and March for Our Lives for allowing me and opening these amazing opportunities and doors for me to be an activist. Um, I just think that, in this world, we have a lot of suffering going on. And if we could somewhat memorialize it for everyone, because we are all human beings, that would be a great start to improving and moving forward.
Well, that's excellent. So, what else are you doing? Because I want the disease that you have right now, that disease of activism, to be contagious. So, tell me, how can programs like ours encourage the youth, people your age, people in your generation, to move forward? Because, like I said, when I saw the press release and when I kind of got a hold that this was a group of young activists, I said, you guys had to be on and you guys had to have a presence and people had to know who you are.
I understand. I think for me, and I think for a lot of us, it's discontentment. This discontentment with the state of our nation, is discontentment with how we've seen things run for time and time again, and we're tired, and we want to break that cycle, and we want to start anew. I speak to a lot of the other activists, young activists, and students, and it's basically the same narrative of we're tired of being treated this way. We've seen this happen over and over again, and people keep on getting screwed over and over again. So we want to be able to be that change for ourselves and our future.
Well, look, I love that answer. So just keep that up, and let me open the door here and tell you that politics done right, at any given time that you guys have anything to put out, at any given times that you guys have that you want to be here, you let me know. Whether it's here on Politics Done Right Daily or at KPFT Studios, I'd love to have a group of you in the studio with me at KPFT in Montrose to discuss some of these youth issues further. So look at your calendar, and sometime I want to hear from you guys again. But let's talk a little bit about the particular issue that you're really here for, which is about the deportation of Vietnamese citizens, even after the agreement that we signed with Vietnam, I believe, in 2008. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. So what we're going to be discussing is a 2008 repatriation agreement between Vietnam and the U.S. that was signed on January 22nd, 2008. And basically, what it establishes is friendly relations between the U.S. and Vietnamese immigrants specifically, and those who came through U.S. for one reason or another. But it states that any Vietnamese immigrants who immigrate here have a chance of being deported back if they are charged of any type of felony or something that offended the U.S. And it basically says that it specifies per case, depending on the type of individual, the type of lives they've lived, and how long they've been living here. The 2008 agreement also states that immigrants who came here before July 12th, 1995, are protected under this because of possibilities that they might have been running away from communism.
Right.
Um, and the U.S. did this to establish friendly relations, but when they are at this point pushing Vietnam to renegotiate this treaty and relook over it and kind of forcing them to do it, it's kind of a violation of diplomatic relations. And on top of that, it's a violation of human rights at this point because many of these immigrants who migrated here at 1995, before 1995, they have lived full lives and they have families. Most of them probably live families now. And what they forget to mention in media, I believe, is these people who committed felonies before 1995 have served their time justly and have done their due to the system, and they have no reason to be deported back once they've already served their justice to the U.S.
So let me see if I understand this correctly, and I want to make sure that all our audience get it right. There are some, just like within any community, some people have been afoul of the law, okay, and they've served their time, and all is fine. They've been here under that treaty for decades,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Now that the Trump administration is in their zeal to throw people out of this country, when they decide to say, "Oh, there's somebody commits a felony," they look at somebody who was here before 1995, who may have had some sort of a record, irrespective of what that record is, and tell them they may be living a great life now with a family, kids, and working as an engineer, a lawyer, whatever, but they had some issues that now they will violate that treaty, and just because of that felony or misdemeanor, throw them out of the country. Is that correct? And I think I understand that 8 people have already been thrown out.
Yes, so it's either deported or detained by ICE and wrongfully detained by that. They would keep them for days on end, months, and not give them the proper treatment that they deserve. Um, and basically, you nailed it on the head when you were saying how these people have families now, they live their own lives, and at this point, I think the Trump administration is just trying to target any type of immigrant they can to push out um, this narrative of we're going to keep our country protected and as Americanized as possible.
Well, what people don't understand, and I mean, this is a what I like to call it is it's a clean form of ethnic cleansing. And I wish more people would start naming what we have from the Trump administration. The Trump administration is trying to find an antiseptic manner in which they can have ethnic cleansing. They're not going to do it like they did it in Bosnia Herzegovina, or they did it in Nagorno-Karabakh or these other places. They want to ensure that the ethnic cleansing is done in a way that looks sort of dignified.
Yep, I definitely agree. I didn't know how far we could go with using terms like that, so I didn't want to put it out there, but I think you put it just perfectly.
This is
It did.
politics done right. We demand honest speak.
Wonderful. That's all I could give.
Now, tell us a little bit about your rally and what is the rally going to be all about? And have you gotten alliances to go into the rally with you?
We only have Happy Youth as a sponsor right now. Our rally is going to be this Saturday, January 12th at 10 a.m. in Bel Air, the heart of Little Saigon and Asia Town in general. If you guys know where the Vietnamese Memorial is, where the statues are, it's going to be held right in front of it. And what we're gonna have elected representatives speak. We're gonna have impactees speak. We're gonna have their family members speak and tell us how disheartening it's been for them to have the fear of having one of the family members being ripped apart. We're gonna have who else speak? some other individuals that are being affected by this, either indirectly or directly. And we're going to have a march and chants and petitions and a call to action for people who really want to support the community.
That is wonderful. Now, now that we've discussed a little bit of the issue, tell me a little bit about. I imagine you are a born American. Is that correct? So this is you're just
I am actually a Vietnamese immigrant myself, and I came here, I think, around 2003 to 2004. So this kind of is a personal issue to me because it kind of hits close to home. Because if we're violating the rights of um, Vietnamese immigrants that have long stayed here for decades now, what does that say for me and my future, right?
Yeah, actually, it does put in, and let me just give a little a statement as well. I am a naturalized Panamanian citizen. In other words, I came from Panama, Central America, and was naturalized here. And there are several times that we sit down and we think, and I've discussed this with my wife before. Hey, suppose they decided that now that they've made it legal to revoke citizenships. I mean, how far can they go? So what you guys are doing is so important to nip it in the butt. One of the things that I tell born Americans and some of the folks that like to consider themselves Native Americans is that the only Native Americans are those the natives of this country. So none of us immigrants, whoever we are, white, black, Asian, whomever you are, should feel the same honor, the same rights to this country as anybody else, and the only person we should ever have to listen to, if you will, are natives. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
I agree.
go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think natives have a right to this land, and the fact that we have been mistreating them too is very heartbreaking. And I wish we could, treat this soil and this country with the type of respect that I'm sure they would love to see, and I'm sure everybody would like to see a little bit more harmony.
Absolutely. So, well, look, let me tell you, it was my pleasure having you, Miss Nguyen. But let me just ask before we leave for you to tell me or give me any information you would like to add to your commentary, whether it is about this march or anything in the progressive space or anything in any space that you'd like to comment on, because I want to give you your platform to say as you please.
Um, since we are speaking about the truth, we have reached out to certain local Vietnamese media lately, and the responses for that have been very tough to deal with because they are expecting some type of funding for us to broadcast certain community issues that affect us personally. And I feel like that speaks volume to how we see each other as people and how we treat each other as Americans in this country. Um, everybody's just always trying to look out for themselves and what they can benefit and this and that. But how about we look out for each other because, we are a community, we support each other through thick and thin. And I just wanted to say that I hope more people can care more about issues like this, whether immigrants, whether Native rights that we were talking about, just overall in general, because these are, human rights at risk. And the rally is about family separation, but it's more about human rights, in my opinion. Um, just because you can't just rip someone out of their livelihood, a life they've known all the time, and then put them into a country where they're kind of foreign to, right? Um,
That That is so true. I mean, and that is disheartening when we talk about the immigration issue. That what Donald Trump is attempting to do with many communities is send people back to countries they really have no clue about. In many instances, a language that many can't even speak. And I think that is a crime against humanity. And I think if we started defining terms and not being scared of using terms, you not being scared and coming on to politics done right and saying, Egberto, what the president is doing is nothing less than ethnic cleansing. I want people to start speaking the way the right wingers speak. They over dramatize. Progressives tend to under dramatize. The president is an ethnic cleanser, and let's let that be known. And thank you so kindly, Tien Nguyen, for being on here. And last comment.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here. I really am. This is my first interview ever, so thank you for letting me take that first step as an activist to finally have an interview with someone. But I do want to promote the rally one more time, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Okay, so we do have a Facebook link. You could just search up Southeast Vietnamese rally in Houston, and the date is going to be January 12th, this upcoming Saturday at 10 a.m. to 11. We're going to march, we're going to chant, we're going to listen to impactees and families speak about this impacting them, and representatives out there. Everybody's just going to stand in solidarity and support. And we hope everybody comes out to sign the petition and be a part of the movement that is, I mean, progress, right?
Absolutely. So, look, it really was my pleasure to have you here with us. Please, please, please keep up doing the good work, because it will be rewarded. What you're doing is very important work. So please continue to do so. We need the youth. You keep encouraging others to do the same. And let me let you know again, you guys, I don't care about the mainstream media. You guys have a media outlet in Politics Done Right. So thank you so kindly, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too. Goodbye.
Bye bye.